Today is Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is the JABBIC Part 1 for Survivor Edge of Extinction. Almost said distinction. Edge of Extinction.
Edge of Distinction, huh? Someone's going to distinctify themselves. I'm sure someone will stinkify themselves through the process.
Probably will say that more than once.
Yeah,
knowing me.
It's absolutely a mouthful. And it's interesting concept, but we'll talk about the theme and the twist a little. Did you want to do it at the beginning?
Sure, why not?
Oh, go ahead. Go for it.
Okay, this season has 18 castaways, 4 of whom are returning players. I'm sure everybody knows that now. And they're going to be divided into 2 equal tribes, Manu and Kama.
Yeah, sure.
Is that how I say that?
Sure.
Okay, you want to talk about the twist?
Basically, how it's going to happen is that when they get voted off of their tribe, and nobody knows this at the beginning of the game, they're not going to know until the first return happens, but they'll leave tribal council and they'll be faced with a choice. You can either choose to go ahead and exit the game, or you can go to Extinction Island where the conditions are going to be rough and you have to hang out until you get an opportunity to compete to come back into the game. And I believe there's going to be 2 opportunities for doing that. The first one's at the merge, and I don't remember exactly when the second one is off the top of my head.
I think they said like later on in the game.
Okay.
But that's all we really got that I heard.
Yeah, I was thinking it was around Final 5, but we'll see. Anyway, it's going to be interesting from that perspective, and I guess what I meant was, so we'll talk about it, but I'm going to wait to pass judgment on it here before anything happens, and to give my JABBIC on the theme of the season. So that's where that comes from, and so someone will get the opportunity, they'll compete and they'll win, and they'll get the chance to come back in. And I think the folks that are there can go back to Extinction Island, or they can bail. At any time, they have an opportunity to surrender, raise the white flag at Extinction Island, and punch out of the game. So this is going to cause all kinds of havoc with the normal flow of the game and what we're used to in that regard. And things like exit interviews won't be happening. They're not scheduled weekly for this season because of the uniqueness of this twist. Is there anything else you want to say about it before we get into the castaways?
Just that I don't know how I could pass up the opportunity to at least go find out what was happening.
I think it'll be a great test because just like every season, there's some recruits, and then we got some serious super fans. Mm-hmm. But it'll be a real test of their mettle in the context of the game to see what their decision is. And I'm willing to bet not everyone's going to go to the island. And certainly, I don't think all of them are going to stay there.
I don't think all of them will stay, and especially if you've got someone that knows they're physically weaker player, and then you have a bunch of strong players show up out there. But then you don't know what the challenge might be.
Right.
But
yeah, I think you jumped to a conclusion a little bit there. It could be a puzzle.
Yeah, I know. But overall, I think that might weigh on their minds.
The ones that really want to leave will find a reason to leave, just like they always do in that regard.
Now, would one of the 4 remaining players not go?
No, they'll all feel compelled to, is what I think.
Exactly, that's what I think, too.
They'll feel compelled to try to. Because these are people who love the game. That's what I do like about the 4 returnees.
And I think they would really want to.
Yeah, they're not going to let it. I mean, they came back out there. Why would they turn around and give up?
Yeah.
It's contrary to the investment they've already made.
Already committed.
There's a sunk cost bias that will be hard at work, not to mention their general love of the game. So, yeah, I will be stunned if any of the returning 4 bail or for non-medical reasons, right? Or choose not to continue, when given the opportunity in that regard. Is there anything else you want to say, or can we jump to the cast?
Let's go.
Yeah, so we're going to do the Manu tribe first. First up, we've got Chris Underwood. What can you tell us about Chris?
I'm going to do a little of the bio like I usually do. So he's from South Carolina. He's a district sales manager, and he keeps going on about how he trains people on the art of persuasion. And he says he's going to lie about his job. He's not going to tell people what he really does. He's going to tell them, because he used to do this. He used to do teach diving and take people fishing. He was a guide for that. So he knows a lot about it, can talk about it intelligently. So that's going to be his story for who he is. He says he's very personable and a hustler, and he's very intuitive. And it's been his lifelong dream to play, and he's applied for years. So that I love about him. And he can make fire and fish and build shelter and all of those things, and that he can even cook. So, and he says he's very good around camp. He's going to work and be a team player. I thought that there was some concern for me about him. I like him, but
I don't.
He said he tweaked his shoulder before going out to the island. Mm-hmm. So that concerns me a little bit. And it concerns me that he says he wants to play the perfect game.
He set himself up to fail in that regard.
Yeah.
And he's given himself an out. And if his game's not going perfect, then why be there?
Well, and he already thinks he's going to be a target and be thought of as the golden boy. So I thought, okay, a little bit of excess ego in there.
Oh, just a little bit? Let's try a lot. He described himself as a combination of all the best traits of Malcolm, Boston Rob, Spencer, and Ozzy.
Yeah, but then he turned around and said he wears his heart on his sleeve and he wants to form genuine relationships. So he's a little bit of contradiction there.
Not a little bit, but actually he's just a salesman. And he's probably a very good salesman to a degree. Although pitching yourself as a sales manager when you're training door-to-door salesmen, the bar's not really high. That's where I'll go with that. That's my assessment of that. Don't like the guy is my immediate reaction. That's my judge a book by the cover. And, I don't think he's a Survivor Renaissance man. But I do think he'll make the merge.
Me too.
I think they'll want to keep him in, depending on how the challenges go, of course.
Well, I liked him okay, though I see some things that could be issues. But I think he'll make the merge. I don't think he'll be like Final Three or anything like that.
Nope, me neither.
So, all right. What about Dan?
Dan War Dog Da Silva. Interesting. He's a study in contrast, too.
Yeah, he is. Well, let me read a little bit of his bio. He says he's going to lie about going to law school, and
that's fair. Lawyers don't get the best treatment.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
He says he's very confident, self-amused, and passionate, and he brings a sharp mind. He's likable. He has a joyful personality, and he can be both subservient and a leader. I'm not sure about that.
You didn't believe him, but I liked his adaptability, and I think he's had lots of opportunities, given all that he's done in his life, to acquire that adaptability and really be a student of adaptability. So that part really clicked for me. It's like, that's the right answer. I don't know. He's used to having a lot of attention, and I don't know if he can not be that person. He talked a lot about the duplicitous nature of his personality, the War Dog and the Dan versions and things like that. And anybody who starts speaking about themselves in the third person, and even better, third person nickname here, always gives me pause in terms of how they're going to come across in the social context of the game.
Well, he says he's got the physical skills and that he won't whine and complain. And he says he'll make people laugh when they're feeling miserable.
Huge value in that.
Yeah, but his biggest worry, he said, was passive-aggressive personalities.
Yeah, said he struggled with that. That could be very hard to deal with in a war situation, I'm sure. So I don't, I don't doubt that can be a problem. But
well, and he said he's going to play the anybody but me game.
Nah, that's a really decent start. He applied 4 times, so he's a fan. Like I don't necessarily think Chris is a fan. Did he say he was?
We're talking about Dan now.
Yeah, no, but I just wanted to go back because my first impression of Chris was that he was
a fan.
recruited for his looks. Yeah.
Oh no! He was a fan because he said it had been his lifelong dream, his childhood dream. That he watched with his dad. I think. He had said.
I'd probably brush that off as more salesman crap.
Well, my the things that concern me about Dan, he says he's not a good swimmer. And that he can't make fire, but he'll learn, he said. He's going to learn while he's out there.
He's going to do a little OJT. On-job training.
And I had put, too, I didn't think he was a fan. And I didn't.
You put that you didn't think Dan was a fan?
Yes.
He had applied 3 times before. This 4th time he got on.
I still kind of wasn't sure.
It's hard with that background to think of him having that opportunity, but we've had a lot of military folks in the podcast, and we know they're diehard fans.
Right.
Even though he's been deployed into some really rough areas. So.
Well, I first thought I didn't know if he could make it to the end. Merge for sure. He's
I got him
very
down for
strong.
merge.
But the more I've seen of him, and the more I've listened to different things, and see his sense of humor,
he comes across
I
well,
like
right?
him more and more.
Yeah.
So I'm on the fence about him.
I really like that he flipped the "Who are you most like?" Which survivor are you most like question. He flipped it around to "Whose game did I respect the most?" to give you insight into what he valued from his perspective in the game instead of being a copy of someone. So
what did he say? I didn't see this.
And what was even better about it was he emphasized certain versions of people. He said, I really respected the 3rd version of Tyson's game and the 1st version of JT's game.
Yes.
And so
I agree with those.
Yeah, that sounded like a fan to me. And that sounded like someone who's got some self-awareness. And because he flipped the question, he just didn't go with that straight question.
And where was that? Where did you run across that? Question from whom?
Bios.
Oh, okay.
It's what producers always ask everybody.
Okay.
There's a standard set of questions with every bio. Yeah, I got him down as merged too.
Okay. So David Wright.
David's back.
44. He's still a television writer. And he still says he's OCD, nervous, and paranoid. But he says he's going to win by applying all of the skills and knowledge gained from his first time playing the game, which lasted 38 days. So,
yeah, it's easy to forget that he was there that far. And we know he can make just an exquisite fake idol. He totally ran a number on Jay back in his first season. I got to say that I'm not looking forward to watching him thrash around again. And, good that you found self-growth and all that. And possibly he'll be useful at puzzles. He had some puzzle skill from before. So I think they might keep him, but I'd be just inclined to make him a first boot so he couldn't screw up my game.
Well, he said
because you can't count on him where his head is and what's going on because he's in struggle mode all the time.
Well, I'm willing to wait and see if he's still that person.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he said he did practice, the puzzles more, and that he really wants an opportunity to at least get to the final 3 so he could plead his case. That seemed to be what bothered him most. He didn't at least get to plead his case for the win.
And yet the fans in the game that saw him play will know what his story's like and what threat he represents. So I think he's got a long hill to climb.
Well, I said I didn't think he could get to the end again, but I was going to go ahead and say merge because they might want to learn from him or use him.
I went merge because of puzzle. If they got somebody else, like Wentworth, I think she can do puzzles, can't she? They won't need him.
Yeah.
So then he'll become disposable if they've got some other good puzzle solvers.
Is that I think he and Kelly will appear to be bigger threats because they both got to day 38.
Mm-hmm.
That would make me nervous.
Yeah.
Day 38. I mean, that's right there.
Although Wentworth's got some just can't quite finish it on her.
We'll get to her.
Okay. All right, so we
I
both
love doing that to you.
we got David make the merge.
Okay, Keith Sowell. He's 19 from North Carolina, pre-med student at Duke. He said he's not going to lie about going to Duke or being intelligent, his age. He's just going to be himself.
He's got a good story.
Yeah. And he thinks he can be the sole survivor because he's already been living against the odds and making it work. So
He has.
He's always felt like he was at a disadvantage, and he's making it work. His worry is the elements. He's never camped, never been out in the elements. So that's a little bit of concern.
I immediately liked him. Man, he's got a great smile. He just seemed like a real genuine guy. He came across positively. I just don't think he's got the life experience and the skills to navigate a game that can be this complex. And with the returnees, it's all ratcheted up because of that. You don't get to be a beginner with other beginners. You've got to up your game to. I mean, some of these people are here for their third time, right?
Yeah.
So that's rough. I don't think he'll. I think he's gonna struggle a lot.
That was my take on him as well, is that, yes, he may have good social skills, but he's still really young. Though Michael, then I think back to Michael and go, he did not seem as young as he really was. So, but he was older. Michael was even older compared
screams
to.
young.
Yeah, he does to me too. That's why
he could pass for like 15 or 16.
And I don't know how athletic he is. I mean, yes, he's 19. You would expect it, but not all 19-year-olds are athletic.
I was thinking he might get lost in a tribe shuffle, so he could easily become a target. And this was just my instinct. I don't know that he'll make it to the merge, so I got him no merge.
Well, I put him merge. If he's good in challenges, I thought he'll make the merge, just because he's young and can do challenges.
This tribe needs physicality, so I can. Yeah. I wavered back and forth on that, but
I don't think he can win.
I just definitely not a winner.
I don't.
At the end, I don't think.
Okay, now we're at Kelly. She's a marketing manager still in Washington. She still describes herself as independent, expressive, and stubborn. She survived 38 days last time, which I said, and she thinks she can handle it.
I'm not sure she's a finisher. That's the thing with her.
Prope says she is.
She's
she's destined to win.
Stacy says she's not.
Prope says.
So there.
He might have just jinxed her. Prope said she's destined to win.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Here's what she's got going for her. She's stronger than David Wright. She's got more physical strength.
True.
She's probably stronger than all the women on her tribe. So she's got a heads up there on quite a lot of her tribe. And she's probably smarter about the game than most of them in that regard. So I think she makes the merge, but I get rid of these returning 4 as quick as I can after the merge.
I put merge too, but initially I thought they'd send her out really early, maybe even first, and that she'd get a chance to fight her way back in. So it didn't necessarily mean she'd be out.
That fits with her kind of story, her and Aubrey both.
Then I looked at her tribe, and I went, she's top 3 physical challenge player, in my opinion, on that tribe. And I thought, they're going to they'll need her strength.
You think she's stronger
and
than
her
Keith?
Experience.
Because Chris and Dan, from
like
physicality.
Don't know about Keith yet and how physical he is. He said nothing about his physicality. Nothing.
Yeah.
Brain, strategy, social, nothing about physicality.
Yep.
Didn't bring it up. That's what makes me think,
she's
I don't know.
Definitely in the upper half, and no denying that. Okay, so you got her making the merge too.
I got her making the merge.
All right, next up, Lauren O'Connell, 21, for Bakersfield, California. She's just graduated days before starting this season from Baylor in Waco, Texas.
She says she's competitive, committed, and compassionate.
I like the alliteration.
Few people can match my competitive drive.
Okay, that's basic athlete talk, but sure.
Yeah, she's a fierce athlete, and I thought she was going to be awesome, and then you came in and said she's had 4 surgeries already.
4 prior orthopedic surgeries.
I was like, yikes.
She gets my vote as most likely to go out injured. What are the chances she's going to re-injure that if she's that competitive in these type of physical challenges where you get torqued and your joints are all over the place in the sand? And
Well, I was really gung-ho with her. She talked about how brilliantly strategic she was, but
ding, ding,
very
ding.
subtle.
That's a warning bell.
And people aren't intimidated by her. She's going to be a mastermind while allowing everybody else to think they're in charge. And then she says her biggest worry is no sleep, shelter, food, and bugs. And I thought, okay, well.
She's a fan. I like that.
She is a fan. I like that about her.
More specifically, she's a fan of Kelly Wentworth, which Kelly Wentworth requested of Jeff Probst. But anyone who earnestly says that past Castaway X, usually Parvati, is my spirit animal, in my opinion, is a bit of a twit. So she lost points right out of the gate on that. And then when you describe yourself as brilliant and a mastermind, you're just asking for it.
Well, I didn't think she could go all the way.
No, I didn't even have her making the merge. And I can easily be way wrong on this, right? Given her athletic background. Although looking at her physicality did not suggest athlete to me. Yeah, she didn't look like a college athlete. She looked soft.
My determination was I didn't think she was as prepared for the cutthroat type game as much as she thinks she is.
Any of it.
And then when you said she'd already had 4 orthopedic surgeries, I put merge unless she gets injured.
Yeah, I got no merge, medevac out.
Okay, so I went ahead and put merge. Okay, let's move on to Reem Daly. She's 46 years old from Virginia. She's in sales. She says she's going to listen to others. She's not going to talk a lot about herself. She's going to listen to them and gather information. She is a fan. She describes herself as inquisitive, tenacious, and energetic. Her social game is amazing, and although she's honest to a fault, she knows when to chill. She's been watching since 2000. She trusts no one. Words mean zero to her. Actions speak louder. Her worry is, and big fear, is snakes.
Yep, so I like that she's a fan, but she's got all the hallmarks of a mom on vacation for me.
Yeah.
She's a salesperson for Oracle, a company I do not like at all. And I've had lots of bad experience with.
Okay.
And
Enough said.
Negative reaction out of the gate. And so she sells Oracle software. She's in Virginia, so she's doing government contracts. These aren't the hardest contracts in the world to land, especially with a top shelf company like that, like IBM and Oracle.
She says she's very candid, outspoken, and she's not a good liar.
She's got a brash verbal style. She lacks self-constraint and has poor impulse control.
Okay, now here's where I made my decision. She said, when they asked her how she prepared, she said, well, she started going to the gym and she was going to do a diet, but then her family was really ready to, she was driving them crazy, trying to diet, and I guess she got probably pretty irritable, and that she was so bad at the gym, they said maybe we should part ways.
Please don't come back.
So she was
because of her
thrown out of the gym because of her attitude. Yes.
Because of an outburst she had.
And because she wasn't eating as much. So I thought, oh yeah.
When someone tells you that they're a tell it like it is person, they lay it out there, that's an excuse.
They're usually abrasive, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's an excuse too. It means you're not considerate and you don't care what the impact is on someone else. And that she just was like ringing all these alarms when I saw her talking to the lady from ET Canada.
I didn't even listen much after that. I just went, no merge. She's going to mouth off soon as she gets hungry.
No merge.
First off, her tribe.
That's her pick for poor Reem. No merge. Okay, let's talk about Rick Devens, 33. He's a morning news anchor in Macon, Georgia.
Living in our neck of the woods.
He's an Eagle Scout and says he has all the basic survival first aid skills.
He says he's funny, compassionate, and loyal. And he is a fan, and he feels very lucky to be there and to get to play. So I really like that about him.
You know what's kind of fun and interesting when you're looking at this cast is you realize that this cast and the David versus Goliath cast were all up on the board together at one point, and they were trying to decide who's in which season, who's going to fit this season versus that season from that perspective. And one of the things Rick said was that he got the call that he wasn't going to be in David versus Goliath season 37, and he was really happy with that. And then this one is the one he felt like he really wanted to be in.
Well, he was happy with that because he felt like he was trying to prepare himself, and he didn't feel like he was there. He didn't feel like he had quite gotten himself as physically prepared as he wanted, and he didn't have his family situation and his job ready to leave them. Now he does.
Yeah, but you're talking about weeks difference. I guess it was all he really needed. But, you know, it's like 6 weeks difference between the seasons. And
he just went, okay, I need that little bit extra time to prepare. So I don't see that as a negative for him.
Nope.
He actually seems quite jolly.
I remember, so him and who else was it? Is Wendy. They were in the preview at the end of last season. Right, and I had this impression of him. I thought he was a big lumbering guy, but I looked at him in relation to the rest of his tribe, and he's a little guy. He doesn't seem like he's much bigger than David Wright. I was thinking, oh, he's like 6'4" or something like that. This great big jolly giant guy.
Well, I think that's why he said, you know, he's acknowledging that he doesn't have the same physicality as some of the other beefy guys will have. But he said he would like to align with those guys and then just kind of sit back and watch them pick each other off.
He had a great line that you liked, but I'm pretty sure we've used it before.
Which is?
He said, I'm not going to laurel it. Given an opportunity, I'm not used her as a verb.
If I get opportunities, I will take them. I won't laurel it.
I think we used that last season ourselves, but it was good to hear him say it too, like mine's. All right, so I do have him making the merge.
I do too. I think I like him, but I'm not sure how well his personality will be received. So I thought he could either be, you know, everybody's bud, or he could get annoying, and I don't know which way it's going to go yet. But
why did you think he would be annoying?
Just because I think he's going to talk a lot. He's used to talking, and but I just am waiting to kind of see which way his personality goes. But I think I like him, and I definitely have him make it merge.
Yeah, I had a positive first reaction judging that book by its cover.
Yeah, I did too. Okay, Wendy Diaz, 25, from Bell, California. She's a small business owner. She describes herself as idiosyncratic, fun-loving, and spontaneous. I think I have the agility and the cunningness to win. I love outdoorsy stuff and can't wait to see what the wilderness throws at me.
Definitely got a recruit vibe off her.
She is not going to use the name Diaz, however. She does not want to be associated with Sandra Diaz Twine. She thinks that could work against her, so she's going to say her name is Wendy Days. So she's not.
Which is what Diaz means in Spanish, she said.
Exactly. So anybody who knows Spanish
is going to go, oh, you're Diaz, right? Why don't you go by Diaz?
Okay.
I think that's going to completely backfire on her, like day one.
Here's the thing. Her big worry is about her OCD, about touching. She said just makes her cringe when she sees them after a challenge run and hug each other while they're
dirty and sweaty.
She's like, can't do that. And he thought, well, okay. Especially with the people when they have bad hygiene.
She came across as way too gung-ho. Like, she's got a script in her mind, and this is what she's going to say. And
she's going to play dumb at first and then be the puppet master.
She's got a plan before she knows what she's dealing with, which is usually the hallmark
whole package
of someone who gets spun around and lost out of the gate.
Well, I said I'm not sure she can play as well as she thinks, and she seems almost a little too bubbly to me when she was being interviewed, so I said no merge.
Yeah, I got her no merge also. I think she's going to struggle with the social game.
We agreed on a couple. And she could even be first out of that tribe.
You can see her up on the board, right? They got all the headshots up. Hers and Lyrsa. They got two Latinos with colored hair. Which season are we going to put them in? Okay, here we go. All right, moving on to the Kama tribe. This one's got, we didn't say this about Manu, which is you got 5 guys and 4 gals. Whereas on Kama, you got 5 guys.
The opposite.
Yeah. Sorry.
You said that twice.
I did.
4
Wrong
guys,
way.
5 gals.
Right, there we go.
Is what he meant.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. First up, we got Aubrey. Aubrey's back. All the Aubrey fans are going to be thrilled.
She says she's still intuitive, scrappy, and persistent. She thinks she can win because she never quits. I don't think Aubrey will win, but I think she could do well. I definitely think she'll make the merge, but I don't think they'll let her get toward the end. I could be wrong, though.
She was dominated and crushed in her last outing. Sandra completely shut her out of the game.
Oh, well, yeah.
What she got when she can't play under the radar.
Yeah.
That's really where she's stuck. So she can offer some puzzle expertise, probably.
I think she could work the people. I think she could get in. I think she's well capable, so... Did you put her merge?
No, I don't think she'll make the merge.
Well, we disagreed.
Okay.
Again.
She's got a lot. There's a lot of things I like about Aubrey, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But in the context of the game, I just don't think they'll even let her get close.
Huh.
It's like
okay.
They left you hanging too long the last time. Let's just go ahead and get rid of you before the merge. Aurora McCreary, 32, from Pensacola. Oh no, she's in Orlando now.
Yeah.
Divorce lawyer. She's one of 3 people who didn't smile in their headshots.
She's going to admit to being a lawyer. She's not going to cover up, though she will lie in the game. She says she's direct, ruthless, and athletic. I will bring my analytical skills. I'm good at going into a situation, knowing what I want, reading others, and finding out what drives them, then manipulating the situation to make them think my goal is theirs.
There you go. That's what you want in a lawyer.
Yep.
Good deal. And
But
you wonder why.
Her biggest worry is about the rain. She said even before the games started, they've been in their tent, and it felt like a hurricane out there.
I'd say my first impression is she just looks like a villain.
Yeah.
She's a fan of the show,
okay
which is a
that.
plus. Here you go. Her pet peeve, noises from the mouth, and then she turns right around and says that she chomps. She doesn't chew gum, she chomps it.
Ooh.
So,
Well, she says she's aggressive and argumentative, but she'll ask for forgiveness. She can see when she's wrong. I thought, yeah, I'm not.
She has a strong desire to be a mastermind, a manipulator. She wants that to be the hallmarks of her game. So I think socially she's going to be off.
They could keep her around for her strength, but I said no merge. I think she'll start telling people what to do and, be argumentative. And I could see Aubrey, though, encouraging her.
Winding her up.
Wind her up. Oh, yeah, let's put her in front of me. Let's wind this girl up.
My impression is she's probably got the most physically, this is just my impression, to offer from her tribe for the females there, for the 5 women.
Yeah.
So I got her making the merge. I just don't think that she's a finisher. She's not a winner.
Could keep her around for that, but I still think personality will get her. Because the other women seem more personable. And
fair enough. Yep. She could be the oddball out in that respect.
Eric Hefman, 34, from Livermore, California, originally Chicago. He wants to be open and honest and really have friendships in the game, but he's here to win, though he wants to hide that fact, that he's really there to win. And he's a firefighter. He's our firefighter for the season. He describes himself as enthusiastic, outgoing, and spontaneous. He has team skills, a strong work ethic, and he's strong, very physical, and he says he's good at making people feel valued.
That's a great skill to have.
Yeah, and he says he's really good at bringing and keeping people together. That's good out there.
Yep.
Though his biggest worry is he's concerned for his family at home.
Yep.
So that concerns me a little. But hopefully he's,
A lot of castaways struggle with that for sure.
Yeah, but he made the decision, so go with it. He says he has the gift of mediation. It's like, well, you may need it.
Yeah, a lot.
With Aurora out there.
Another good skill. Yep. So I think he's a recruit, but clearly brings a lot of value to the tribe.
Yeah.
I think he's truly humble, and he knows how to go with the flow. So I think he can play from the middle really well.
Okay. Yeah. Here's the thing that bothered me was he said, well, he prepared by watching a fire making video, but he had to fast forward it because his attention span is very short, and he got bored. He had to run it ahead. And I thought, I like him, and I think he could go far. So I did put him in the merge, and I'm considering him as my possible Final Four and maybe even a winner.
I definitely have him making the merge. He's absolutely in my Final Four. So I'll refrain from the winner until we get there. So I think he's more than willing to let Joe be in the front, and he'll be the alternative when they're ready to get rid of Joe.
Yeah.
So I got really good vibes off Eric.
Yep, I liked him too. Gavin Whitson, 23, from Tennessee. He's a YMCA program director. He says he's sarcastic, hungry, and a dreamer. If he can survive running a summer camp with 100 crazy kids, I can be on a Survivor Island with 20 crazy people.
Yeah, it's a good line. You can tell he's practiced and used it a lot too.
Yeah.
Not that didn't. It's still a good line, but it's something that gets repeated.
Yep. He's a go-getter. Doesn't expect things to be handed to him. He'll earn his spot in his group, and he says though he's going to use his accent and kind of play dumb, even though he's a super fan. But he doesn't want people to know he's such a super fan.
Definitely a super fan. Moved his wedding up. His fiance was okay with that, so they moved their wedding date up. He got married just before going out there.
That was a huge feat to move your wedding, and leave her 2 days after.
Yeah. So he's hoping to make it to the family visit so they can have a mini honeymoon, he said.
Yeah.
So he's got a huge try-hard vibe on him. And he's fit, he's hungry for it, but I don't think he's going to have that as great a social game as he thinks. He just doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't come across that well. So he'll make the merge, but...
Well, here's another one, though, that he says he plans to play an honest game and be nice and treat everybody with respect. I like his energy and excitement, so I said merge. He is in my Final Four, and I might even consider him, but I'm not sure he can win. But I think he and Eric together could be a good combo. And maybe Joe too.
All right, Joe's back. A lot of people are going to be happy that man with the hair bun is back in there.
Yep. Well, I think Joe probably has learned a lot, if not about the game of Survivor, certainly about himself.
Yeah, he's definitely got self-awareness.
Yeah, he's in a relationship with Sierra Thomas.
Really like that he passed on Game Changers because he knew he wasn't ready. That says a lot about him, right?
That says maturity.
Yeah.
Knowing yourself. So.
But why would you let Joe get close?
I think Joe could win if they let him get deep, and I think they're going to want to keep him. I'd want to keep him.
I'll say, this is just me guessing at this, but basically Edge of Extinction, they included that to give Joe an opportunity to come back multiple times.
Yeah.
And Aubrey, and so you just got that with the returnees. It just reeks of being designed to allow returnees to linger, and because you can see it in the ratings with returnees, the ratings tend to be higher, and so the longer they can keep them in, the better for the ratings.
I think they'll want to keep his strength and his knowledge, and they might not be as afraid of him because he only made it to day 30, whereas some of the others went to day 38. So he might seem a little less of a threat. So definitely merge, and if he hooks up with those other guys, he could be good.
All right, Julia Carter, 24, lives in Bethesda, Maryland. She's a student, right?
Yeah, she's also feels honored to play the game. She's a big fan. She's been watching since her Survivor was her escape, since her dad died at the age of 7.
Yeah.
And so She says she's adventurous, resilient, and personable. She's a team player and an excellent communicator. She thinks she has charm and wits and can do it, but her only worry is no worries. She said, well, maybe that I won't find my purpose in playing. Everything happens for a reason.
She found out that she had just gotten a full scholarship to Rutgers Medical School right before
not going to
coming
tell
out
that.
there. Do you think that's going to help her or hurt her? Is it going to free her up to take more risks, or is it going to mess with her head?
I don't think it'll mess with her head.
Yeah.
No, I think she'll be fine. That's
Because
something minor. She
it
just
could mess with your head in the sense of, I don't actually need it. My tuition's covered now.
Well, no.
So you could
I think
let off the accelerator.
I think she wants it. She's going to have plenty of expenses.
Yeah. She seems like a really solid player. I really liked her.
Yeah, I liked her.
Merge.
Yeah, I like her a lot. And I could see her going deep even.
Julie Rosenberg, 46, from Baltimore, now of New York City. She's a toy maker. Described herself as underestimated, determined, and neurotic.
And compared herself to Sari because she's so out of her element. She's not really worried about anything much. And she's been a super fan. She's been applying forever.
Said 17 years.
17 years. And she wants to be very likable and get along as well. And she's on that tribe that seems to want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
She can make fire. She watched videos on gutting fish and opening coconuts and tying a knot. So at least she put some effort in there.
Still seems like she's going to get overwhelmed by it all to me.
She seems really nice, but she looks like the weakest one on the tribe.
Does she have the physicality?
And she's the oldest. And even though I could see her getting in a tight alliance, I said no merge.
I got her down as merge.
She's got this little girl voice. And I like that she's a fan, but for some reason I just don't think they're going to keep her.
I got her down as merged, but it's just because I think the Kama tribe is going to win more than Manu.
Oh, okay. I just thought she could be an easy out.
Ron Clark, 46, currently in Atlanta, teacher at the Ron Clark Academy.
Yeah.
Describes himself as a visionary, compassionate, and a mean girl.
He plans to use his southern charm to disarm. He says he has a big personality. He's going to entertain. He's loyal. He's going to use all this to disorient people. And he's very aggressive and plans to form an alliance on day one and hold on to them and make them stay together. And he
Sounds
said
like someone from Kentucky.
Here's the thing. He practiced making fire, but he couldn't do it.
Never did it.
Never did it. I think he'll be too aggressive for this tribe, and I say no merge.
Yeah, he shoots himself in the foot to some degree, but if they win, they don't have to worry about that. I'm making the merge. Victoria Baiamundi, is that how you say it?
I have no
23,
idea.
From the Bronx. She's a waitress. Described herself as controlling, ambitious, and witty.
But she's going to hide that she's a strategic threat. She thinks she has everything it takes to outwit, outplay, outlast. She's always been a hustler. She works hard. She's very sociable, smart, strong, and self-aware, enough to know when to tone things down a bit. She's not afraid to lie and backstab, but she's smart enough to know without alliances and bonds, you'll never win.
She's a fan, but her biggest inspiration is a guinea pig. So there you go. I'm thinking a life less lived. So she's here for the adventure and the experience. I got her no merge.
I really liked her and her enthusiasm.
Yeah. We had a completely opposite reaction to her.
She learned to make fire. She read all this stuff. She practiced the diet and exercise suggested by previous players. She rewatched seasons. She went back and watched all the first out people to see why they were voted out first. I definitely put merge.
Hint, they were annoying.
And I have considered her even for Final Four. The only thing is, when I listen to her more, I think she might talk so much that she might annoy people, but I don't know yet.
And there's just not a lot behind the talk.
Yeah.
So.
But I liked her. I liked her personality.
Yeah, I guess it seemed okay. It was light. It was kind of sugary cereal It's like the marshmallows and frosted charms or something. I think she's going to be easy to get rid of, easy to discard, no merge.
Well, right now for my final four, I'm saying Gavin, Eric, Julia, and Joe.
Interesting. I've got Rick, Eric, Julia, and Julie. And Julie's not there because she's going to win. She's just there because she was part of an alliance that got her there.
Okay.
And for the win, I've got Eric. I really like the fireman. And I struggled. I warred with myself back and forth. It's like another fireman.
I kind of like
but
him too.
He's got a lot going for him.
Yeah. And, oh, well. Anything else you want to say about this cast?
No. It's the theme of the season that's got me antsy, I guess. And the fact that anytime they mess with the mechanic of the game, and when you're not voted out, you're out, hasn't been a positive experience for me. All the Redemption Island stuff and all that. And I can understand why they would want to do it from a business perspective. I totally get that. And they got to make those decisions to keep the season running. But this broke idea with the people hanging on doesn't hold much potential for enjoyment to me.
See, I disagree. I kind of think it could be interesting, and really, this is like put up or shut up. Here's your opportunity. How much can you take? Show us how much you really want it. Can you hang in there? How much are you really willing to do to get back in the game?
What you just described doesn't sound very entertaining to watch, but I understand the principle.
Well, I don't know that we'll watch a lot of it.
Spirit of what you're saying.
But I thought,
well, they built the whole season around the idea. You can pretty much guarantee they're going to take time away from the other camps.
Some, just like they do when somebody goes to exile.
To do that.
There'll be a segment, a few minutes.
Except they're going to be constantly aggregating contents there, I think.
Well, I am open to giving it an opportunity to see where this could go.
Since they didn't consult me,
be interesting.
I don't have a choice. So I'm resigned to it.
I don't know why they didn't consult you, but okay.
I understand the business part, but hey, you got something that works. You only have to look at last season to see how great it can work. Yeah. And what I'm hopeful is that we've got another really good cast here. That's the hopeful part for me.
I don't ever think we should get too terribly hung up on the shtick for the season, because.
Well, I try not to, and I've got low expectations for this one, so I'm willing to be overwhelmed and thrilled with it all.
Okay, well that's a good place to start. Then.
Leave it on that positive note.
Start low. You got plenty of room to rise.
Okay, so we've given the overview, included the details from the bio, and we've given our take on where we think they're going to land. It's time for you to dig in and share your thoughts about how you think this cast is going to fare. What's your first impression? Let's get in there and judge these books by their cover. We're looking to put together the JABBIC Part 2, and the feedback's due noon Saturday, February 16th. Keep your responses in that 3-minute range so we can fit everyone in. The voicemail number 206-350-1547. Toll free 844-643-8737. The email address joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. We're looking forward to hearing from you. What do you think about the theme? What do you think about the chances of some of these castaways? Who really grabbed your attention? And how do you feel about the returnees?
And we want to give a big thanks to Paul for the roster and the website logo for season 38. Awesome job as always, Paul. Also, a big thanks to Steve for updating the JSFL website. It is now ready for your selections for season 38. Everyone who was still playing in the game at the end of last season is already signed up, and your passwords did not change. We do not keep your records of your passwords, so make sure you keep a record of it.
Sorry, we can't help you with that part. And if you want to be in the JSFL side challenge with me, remember it comes with some risk, which I'm certainly have assumed, is that you may end up having to sing a song if you lose.
Like Stacy will.
Yeah.
On Saturday.
Yeah, I'll have something ready for Saturday. All right, so you need to send an email and let us know if you want to be in the side challenge. And remember, with the JSFL, we're all about spoiler-free. totally get if you like spoilers and you like reading the end of the book first. That's, you do you, but you're not for the JSFL if that's the case. So let's keep JSFL spoiler free and think about that as we're headed forward. And you're going to need to think about who's going to be safe in this first only hour-long episode. You need to pick 4 people that'll be safe, and you need to pick someone you think is going to win it all.
And do not forget to press submit. We have that every season, that people don't get their USB in, or
make sure your picks are there. You just go back to the homepage of JSFL and it'll tell you if it's got your
USB
picks.
for you newbies, or the person you think will win the entire season.
Stands for Ultimate Survivor Bonus, worth 24 points, the biggest bonus of the season.
If you're new to JSFL and you want to play, you have to register right away. Go to the website and then register, read the official rules listed on the website, and then make your picks.
So we'll have an update on how we're going to handle the whole Edge of Extinction Island in the JABBIC Part 2 show.
Okay.
For scoring and how that's going to work.
Yeah. Deadline for registering to play this year in JSFL will be 7:30 Eastern Time on Wednesday.
The 20th, the day the show airs.
Yes.
Yeah.
30 minutes before the show airs on the East Coast.
Just go ahead and get your picks in.
Okay, everything's due by then.
Yep, there you go. Anything else you want to add?
No, I know you have a time crunch, so thanks, everybody.
Have a good one.